5 years ago, a man's fantasy became reality in a form never seen before, a giant cooking arena, the Kitchen Stadium. The motivation for spending his fortune to create Kitchen Stadium was to encounter new original cuisines, which could be called true artistic creations. To realize his dream, he first secretly started selecting the top chefs of various styles of cooking. And he named his men the Iron Chefs, the invincible men of culinary skills. Iron Chef Japanese is Masaharu Morimoto. Iron Chef French is Hiroyuki Sakai. Iron Chef Chinese is Chen Kenichi. And Masahiko Kobe is Iron Chef Italian. The Kitchen Stadium is the arena where Iron Chefs await the challenges of master chefs from around the world. Both the Iron Chef and Challenger have 1 hour to tackle the theme ingredient of the day, using all their senses, skills, creativity. They're to prepare artistic dishes never tasted before. And if ever a challenger wins over the Iron Chef, he or she will gain the people's ovation and fame forever. But this man has even bigger dreams. Yes, he is on a quest to see and experience more from around the world. In Paris.
ピエール側にも残り10分を切りましたがと聞いたところ、OK、サバと答えてくれました。
ああ、そうですか。
In Beijing.
さあ始まりました、世紀の北京決戦。
In Hong Kong and other exotic locales.
これはすごい。
Kitchen Stadium is the arena where you will meet the master chefs from around the world and their artistic creations. What inspiration will today's challenger bring, and how will the Iron Chef fight back? The heat will be on!
If memory serves me right, Meiji Kinenkan is one of the top bridal halls in Japan. As the oldest hall of its kind, it has led the traditions of wedding styles in Japan. To commemorate its 50th anniversary, a major project is underway. An upgrade of its banquet menu, offering top-quality Chinese cuisine from its new restaurant. While many others are striving to do the same, top-notch chefs are a rare commodity. Luckily, they succeeded in hiring one of the best in the country. And to welcome the Grand Chef, they quickly renovated the design of their kitchen, adding a 40,000 kilocalorie stove, the largest in Japan, also including a very rare Shanghai oven. This is the man who made them bend over backwards. We shall see just how good he is. Today's challenger, the maestro of Cantonese cooking, from Meiji Kinenkan Master Chef Shuzo Shimokawa. He started his career at age 20. Later, he apprenticed under the Cantonese heavyweight Tam Hikoaki for 12 years, eventually becoming his right-hand man. During those days, he handled major banquets for over 1,000 guests. So you can understand why Meiji Kinenkan wanted him desperately for their first Chinese master chef.
Nowadays, you just cannot find a master chef at his age who has the experience of handling major banquets as well as serving gourmets that come to top restaurants.
Shimokawa's works are magical culinary creations that match modern tastes, taking in new trends from mainland China. So now, Shimokawa, show us the sophisticated skills that made Meiji Kinenkan bow down and bend over backwards.
I'm here to win, of course. I'm here to win.
最高峰の結婚式場が満を持してオープンさせた中華料理、その味を任されている広東料理のサラブレッドがやってまいりました。さあ皆さん大きな拍手でお迎えください。明治記念館竹林料理長下川修造。
Striding into Kitchen Stadium, the man who's the master chef of Meiji Kinenkan, the top bridal hall in Japan with 170,000 weddings in its 51-year history. And Shimokawa's mentor, Tan Hikoaki, is looking on from the royal box.
どうもようこそ。
Thank you.
今日はその料理を食べる出席者の数は少ないかもしれませんが、いつもはどれくらいお好きですか？
I do handle big banquets, yes, but taste has nothing to do with the number of tasters.
はい、どうぞ頑張ってくださ
Thank
い。
you.
それでは、最近結婚式のスピーチの数も増えているうちの鉄人をご紹介ください。よみがえるがいアイアンシェフ。
Defenders of Kitchen Stadium, the Iron Chefs. Iron Chef Chinese Chen Kenichi, Iron Chef French Hiroyuki Sakai, and Iron Chef Japanese Masaharu Morimoto. The recipes they create break new ground in Japan's culinary field.
さあ伺いましょう。誰と戦いますか？
I want Sakai-san!
Wow, what a call! He's already surprised us. A Chinese versus French cross-cuisine battle. It'll be Iron Chef French Hiroyuki Sakai. He's won a huge following for his sophisticated cooking techniques, and his sense of color in his dishes has earned him the moniker the Delacroix of French cuisine. Today, challenged by a Cantonese chef who's eager to drop him to the floor. Pressure? You better believe it.
究極の中華スープには欠かせないと言われる今話題のハム。今日はそのハムだけではなく、その元になる豚も用意しました。それでは発表します。今日のテーマはこれです。今日のテーマは金華ハムと金華豚。
Challenger Shimokawa, one of the foremost Cantonese cuisine chefs in the country, working at Japan's top bridal hall with his mentor and other chefs looking on, he'll battle Iron Chef French Sakai. Today's theme, Jinhua pork, gives him a leg up on Sakai and really puts the Iron Chef under the gun. How does the battle unfold? Opening gong sounds in the Jinhua pork battle. Chinese versus French, a cross-cuisine affair. Sakai in another exceptional meat battle, his second straight following the Mishima beef battle which he won. Will he be able to capture this one as well? Both men up at the ingredient stand. Right there, Hattori, a picture of the Jinhua pig above the cuts of pork available for the chefs.
Right, it has a black head and black hindquarters. It's a fairly small pig, and with much more fat than ordinary pigs, but their meat is quite aromatic and also sweet.
Much more fat, you say?
Yes, and that's what makes this pork rare.
Okay.
And right here, now this is the ham made from it.
Okay,
And you
up
use
close.
this for making soup, and it's really the best soup stock there is, and it's one of the most critical elements used in high-class Cantonese cuisine.
Now, for example, that would be the stock for shantan soup?
Right, but there is another one, an even better one, which I'm hoping the challenger will prepare for us today. We can always hope.
That
it's called
is?
Din Tan, and it's really the ultimate soup.
Wow. Okay, well, let's see if he comes up with it, the challenger Shimokawa, and he grants your wish.
Fukui-san,
Go ahead, Ota.
reporting from the Iron Chef side, Chef Sakai says, I've never used this kind of pork before, and he doesn't seem to be a very happy camper right now.
All right, well, up against a top gun in Cantonese cuisine, and he's never even handled the theme ingredient. That's pressure with a capital P. So we can already sense this will be an intriguing affair, and before we go any further, let's introduce our guests, among the luckier ones to be here today for this battle.
I feel lucky.
You should. You folks really hit the tasting jackpot. This, the finest of Chinese pork. First, actress Keiko Masuda.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Masuda-san, have you ever tasted this Jinhua pork before? Well,
No, I didn't even know the name Jinhua pork.
never even heard of it, huh? Okay.
Well, how about Jinhua ham?
That I've heard the name of, but I've never had it, no.
All right, well, you're in store for a treat
Yes,
today.
and I also heard that this comes from Shizuoka Prefecture.
Shizuoka. Is that so, Hattori?
Yeah, right. The pork comes from Shizuoka, but the ham comes from mainland China, Zhejiang province.
All right.
I see. I was also raised in Shizuoka, so...
So, thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Also, actor Tsurutaro
Pleasure to be here.
Katoka. They tell me that one Jinhua pig is worth the same as one Japanese bull. You know that?
That expensive, huh?
So it's like winning the lottery today for the tasters.
It's the first time I've ever heard the name Jinhua ham.
That's so?
Really, I've never heard of Jinhua pork either, so I'm really looking forward to the tasting today.
As well you should. Again, thanks for coming in.
It's my pleasure.
Now, back to the battle. Today's challenger, employed by Meiji Kinenkan, the oldest bridal hall in Japan. More than 170,000 couples have tied the knot there since it opened in 1947. And Shimokawa is the master chef of the hall's Chinese restaurant, which handles all the Chinese cuisine banquets for the receptions there. And up in the royal box, I assume several of the men are from the management of Meiji Kinenkan.
Yes, they are, right.
Okay, and on the other side of the box, we see some of the heavyweights of Cantonese cuisine in Japan. Of the three in the front, to the left is Tan Hikoaki, the master chef of Rikyu in Akasaka. He's Shimokawa's mentor. And in the middle is the man you might remember, Leon Shiking from Hotel Nikko Tokyo. He won that tremendous overtime battle against Iron Chef Chen Kenichi. And the third one to the right is another master chef, Zen Zhaoming from Kyoken in Yokohama, and he's also quite active in Chinese cuisine circles, creating several new dishes grounded in pork. Probably wishes he had an opportunity to work with today's theme ingredient. Probably tough on all three just to watch this match.
Okay, now check this out. He's using a pressure cooker here. Now he's going to try to make it tender before braising the pork.
Fukui-san,
Yes.
the Iron Chef is using his pressure cooker for a portion of the pork known as pig trotters, basically pig's feet.
Okay.
And he's tied them with string and added white wine.
Okay.
Well, a curious way to cook trotters. Whoa, usually you eat them with vinegar and miso.
Really?
And Fukui-san?
Yes.
The Iron Chef just tasted the Jinhua ham and said, "Whoa, that's salty. How on earth do you make soup out of that?"
That's salty, says Sakai.
Well, yes, it is. In the past, what they did is they kept it packed in salt for 3 years in a 50-foot hole, and that was to mature the ham. Okay, check out the challenger now. He also has the pork in a pot with rock sugar and Jinhua ham.
Huh, rock sugar, this on the challenger side.
Yes, right.
Well, what's Shimokawa's idea here with the sugar?
Well, he's trying to pull out the flavor from the Jinhua ham.
And the rock sugar will do that. Okay, and for our benefit, to see what it tastes like, we do have some pieces of Jinhua pork.
Actually, this is ham.
Okay, the ham rather, but the premium Jinhua ham.
Sure, now why don't we try some? Now, as Sakai said, it should be quite salty.
Very salty.
But actually, it's the saltiness is what makes the soup perfect if done right.
Okay. Well, how about it?
Let's give it a try.
The Iron Chef says it's almost too salty to deal with. Is he right? Let's find out. They say the ham is salty and the meat tastes sweet. Well, tell us. How about it?
This
Right,
the
it is.
salt, it's really salty,
It's like very salty bacon in a way.
Okay, it is. And now on the Iron Chef side, up
Okay,
close
there's
there.
some prunes,
A
yeah.
healthy choice by Sakai.
And it's good for the digestion as well,
Fukui-san,
No, I'd say that's a good choice for the pork.
Go ahead, Ota.
sorry to interrupt. The meat that the Iron Chef is now using is the thigh of the pork.
Sizable portion.
And he's added
Looks like
some
pineapple here.
That's right, it is pineapple. And in another frying pan, he's using the meat from the shoulder blade.
Okay, and there it's got that sizzle like a steak in the frying pan, charred on the surface.
Looks good.
And right there, pork legs smothered in a
Yes.
pineapple sauce with
The
prunes.
sweetness
Yeah, it looks almost
should accentuate
tropical.
the pork here.
Yeah, it'll be an exotic taste.
For sure, a taste from the tropics may be in the offing here by the Iron Chef.
And Fukui-san,
Take it.
The Iron Chef has now mixed soy sauce, cooking sake, and regular sake in a bowl, and he's also added ginger to that.
Okay, and he's
Oh,
now
like
splashing
Thai food
that
there,
onto
yeah.
the dish.
15 minutes have elapsed.
And now we're on the challenger side. What's this?
He's using winter melon.
Right, very nice.
Refreshing, yeah, and soothing.
He's
Fukui-san,
got them hollowed out. Yes, go, Ota.
I asked the Iron Chef about the item with the crushed pineapple on it, and he said, I tried something similar in Thai food the other day, and it was really good. I got the hint from that, so Hattori-san, you were exactly right.
Yeah, no, I thought there was a touch of Thai food in
Doc,
that,
you
yeah.
nailed that one. Good call. Inspired by a dish he had in Thailand? Wish I'd been there.
Well, they do that a lot over there.
Okay, and now over on the Iron Chef side, his rice cooker is steaming.
Fukuyi-san?
Yes, go ahead.
This rice cooker contains rice, of course, but it also contains various kinds of mushrooms for flavoring. Maitake mushrooms, brown mushrooms, white mushrooms.
A combination of different mushrooms.
Yes, that's right.
Mushroom and rice combo.
Well, what about the broth, folks? We don't know what kind of broth he's added in there.
Yeah, you'd think that he has some kind of broth in it, that's for sure.
Okay, well, we'll find that out a little bit later
And
on.
Fukuyi-san,
Take it.
you'll notice over here that the Iron Chef's ice cream machine has been put into action now.
Yes.
Inside, he's got a combination of vodka, jasmine tea, sugar, and pepper.
Okay, that'll be a dessert, and there's a replay right
Yeah,
there
of
of the
course.
mixture going in. And here's a switch. Where's the pork?
Well, that's going to be the question. But right now, if we turn over to the challenger side, he's now using some orange peel. it looks
Fukuyi-san,
Yes.
this glaze that looks almost like marmalade jam that he's using is vinegar, honey, and chenpi.
Honey and chenpi?
like. Okay, chenpi is a generic term for dried citrus peel for flavoring.
Thank you. So the challenger's applying this vinegar, honey, and chenpi paste onto the pork.
Yeah, sounds like a sweet dish here.
Yes, uh-huh.
And now checking the clock, about 20 minutes gone, a third of the way into this one.
Now, I see the Iron Chef working on the fillet of pork.
Okay.
And, well, these are prawns, obviously, but what's this, I wonder?
Sakai using prawns.
Now, they look like the type of prawns with the really long claws. Yeah, and he also has, I think it's basil in there.
But what a combo, ham and
Right,
prawns.
Okay, and using the fat of the ham.
Yes, the fat of the ham.
Trying to add the flavor of the fat from the inside.
Yeah, it's the same process like when you'd wrap something in cheese.
Okay, and we'd look for him to perhaps grill these.
It looks so good.
Okay, now check this out. He's got that netting of fat out again. He does this a lot.
A big one.
Now, the challenger is working on the minced pork, and he's going to stuff something into this. What? Oh, okay. It's going to be the kinugasa mushrooms.
Okay, right here, this from the challenger, Shimokawa.
Yeah, kinugasa mushrooms. These, after frying, will be quite crispy. It'll be a really nice texture.
And minced pork right there,
Fukuyi-san?
being stuffed in
Yeah,
the
like a
mushrooms.
sausage.
Yes.
Here's the list of ingredients that the Challenger is using for stuffing. Diced
Okay.
leg meat, pepper, water that was flavored with ginger, scallions, cornstarch, and minced Jinhua pork. He did the blending in the blender, is now stuffing the mixture into
Wow,
these long
he
mushrooms.
went the whole 9 yards with that.
Okay, Kataoka-san, how do you think he's going to cook this one?
Oh, tough question. No pop quizzes for me, please.
Well, he's got some strings he's adding
Why does
there.
he have the aluminum foil at the ends only?
Yes,
Okay,
good
well,
observation,
that is the
Katoka-san.
question here.
We'll try to find out, why does he have foil at the ends of these?
Right, yeah.
Okay, now let's go back to the
He's
challenger
going to
side.
fry them?
He's putting them into the winter melon.
winter melon, yes.
A soup, perhaps?
Well, that's about the only thing I can think of, yeah, would be a soup.
Fukuyi-san,
Go.
to answer your question about the items that the Iron Chef has tied with string, the ones with the tin foil on the ends, the reason why he did that, he says, is to protect the ends that tend to char quicker. He wraps the ends to keep them as tender as the middle portion.
Okay, that's a smart way of doing things.
The edges tend to char faster. Wow, you'd have to be a pro to have detail like that down. That's what separates the men from the boys, as far as the cooking goes.
Yeah, the way he was knitting the strings was interesting to watch.
Sure, Sakai at work, professional.
30 minutes have elapsed.
All right, into the battle, 30 minutes gone, 30 minutes left in the Jinhua pork and ham battle here.
Fukuyi-san?
Yes, go ahead.
I've got a follow-up on that glazed mixture of vinegar, honey, and chenpi that the Challenger was rubbing on the pork meat a moment ago. He's now roasting that, and the Challenger told me that that's a traditional Chinese dish usually used for special occasions like wedding banquets.
Well, and it cooks up rather nicely, as we just saw there. Challenger Shimokawa in his element now. Traditional Chinese cooking for a wedding banquet dish. He's been handed a dream theme ingredient today, and he's making the most of it, running with it all the way.
Now, I wonder if he serves this at his place for banquets.
Not sure about that. It is said in the past Japanese people didn't really go for Chinese food at wedding banquets, but that's changed, and nowadays wedding parties are asking for Chinese dishes in bunches, especially the more modern ones.
Well, that's really no surprise, yeah.
And that's why Meiji Kininkan is trying to lead the way, having Shimokawa in charge of the hall's Chinese kitchen as well as the Chinese restaurant they have there. Now anyone can go in and check it out. You don't have to be part of a wedding party to enjoy the cooking.
Fukuyi-san?
Yes.
I told the Iron Chef that the Challenger is preparing some dishes used for weddings and bridal banquets, and he said, I know that they handle 450 ceremonies a year, but hey, we serve 150 couples a year ourselves at my restaurant.
Right. It's becoming popular in Japan for couples to hold wedding ceremonies at restaurants these days. Ceremonies, receptions, banquets.
Yeah, well, that is the recent trend. Many people go to restaurants. They like the atmosphere, kind of like a private party rather than going to a hotel for a more impersonal package deal.
So in that sense, Sakai's restaurant and Meiji Kininkan have a little bit more on the
go.
line today.
Okay, now what's this here?
Oh, the soup.
Yes, into the winter melon.
Okay, now he's
so
pouring
good.
the din tan, which is the ultimate soup, into the winter melon here.
Boy, it appears to be a really healthy-looking
Perfect
dish.
for summer.
Yeah, well, it cools your body when you have it in the summer. That's what winter melon can do. It's one of the effects.
All right.
Fukuyi-san,
Yes.
I just got some comments from Chef Tan in the Royal Box, who
Okay.
thinks that the challenger, his ex-apprentice, is very cool and controlled today, but maybe a little tough on his assistants at times, and he hopes that they'll understand.
Okay, thanks, Ota. Comments from Tan Hikoaki, a leading figure in Cantonese cooking in Japan and the challenger's mentor, as noted before. Also in the Royal Box, we have the challenger's family. The entire family, I believe, are there. Watching him, there's wife Naomi, excited. What do you think? And the couple's 3 children up in the Royal Box. Now look, the Iron Chef. He's pulled out a wok, a Chinese frying pan
really?
for this.
Oh, what's he gonna do, I wonder?
Sheet of aluminum foil there, and what?
Okay, this is easy.
He's smoking the pork.
Right, right. Smoking the pork, and now you'll want to check this out over here from the challenger. Unusual, actually.
He's putting something in the lettuce.
Pushing the pieces of the
ham.
Jinhua ham, into the head of lettuce.
After this, what does he do with it?
Boil it or steam it?
Well, Cantonese cuisine uses a lot of vegetables prepared in a subtle manner. This should be quite delicious.
Okay.
Oh, and some mustard.
I can smell it from
You're
here.
right. Yes, you're right about that. We could smell it all the way over here.
This alone is looking so good.
Yeah, boy.
Looks so
Check that out.
good. The scallions also look great.
Well, Iron Chef Sakai never compromises in his flavoring. He combines many different flavors in a really quite clever way.
That's right, and he's doing so today.
Fukuyi-san?
Yes.
The challenger now has the winter melons in his steamer, and he says that he sees too many chefs these days opening their steamers too many times to check things out. That's a big no-no. He says, I never open mine until it's completely finished. That's Master Chef Tan's way, and that's the right way. Back to you.
All right, I guess we won't be getting any peek into the steamer.
No.
And my, look at that now
okay.
from the Iron Chef.
Oh, the
pineapple?
dish with pineapples and prunes.
Do you think he's cooked it enough?
Boy, look at that. It's charred all over. I hope this is okay. I mean, the way he wanted it.
This is the way he wants it, right? Or could he possibly have messed up and overcooked it? Well, we'll just have to find out. How about it, Doc? What do you think?
Well, to me, it's charred too much, but I think he'll be able to control that, and he's actually doing that right now. The Iron
Fukuyi-san?
Chef is really skilled.
Yes.
He just checked out the taste of the dish and said it's absolutely perfect.
That's interesting.
Okay, so it was his intentional after
We'll
all.
leave it at that, but it did
minutes
smell
to
like
go.
it was burned.
Yeah, well, that's the way he wants it, I guess.
Finished?
15 minutes left now. The Iron Chef's
looks
rice.
so good.
Now, I believe he's going to add pork already flavored to this somehow.
What are you saying? Sort of like fried rice, Doc?
No, he won't cook it together. He'll just mix them or combine them somehow.
All right, now over on the challenger side, Shimokawa scraping something from the wok.
Okay, now he's going to wrap
He
these.
cut the meat into little blocks.
Meat from the leg of the pork, as I recall.
Fukuyi-san?
Yes.
The challenger is now wrapping some things. They include diced pork, cornstarch, salt and pepper, fried eggs, and it's also been flavored with, let me get my list of ingredients here,
Okay.
oyster sauce, Chinese soy sauce, Chinese rice wine, Shantung soup stock, and peppercorn.
Wow, almost a dozen items.
Okay,
And it
now
almost
here we
looks
go.
like a French dish, too, by the Cantonese
Yeah.
cuisine king.
Now, if we can switch over, look at this.
And
Here comes the
Fukuyi-san?
pressure cooker.
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
This just out of the pressure cooker, a combination of pig trotters and boiled pork belly flavored with South African tea, veal stock, various mushrooms, and Jinhua ham.
Looks great.
I second that. Looks wonderful.
Katoka-san, an eye-opener here, a new way to enjoy pig trotters, don't you think?
Yeah, really. This is so luxurious. The gelatin inside should taste awesome. I just can't wait.
Do you like trotters?
Yeah, it's great.
Now, maybe he would mince these and mix them into the rice he just finished.
Maybe you're right.
Okay, and now from the challenger side, look, the grilled one's done.
Okay, the one flavored with orange peel and honey.
Yes, and chen pea
Fukuyi-san?
in the paste. Go ahead, Ota.
I asked the challenger why he had to glaze the orange peel sauce on so many times, and he said, well, you have to do that in order to make this dish perfect. In this one, too much or too many times is a good thing.
Okay, and he said this is the one for the traditional wedding banquet.
Right, that's right.
All right, he's giving it extra TLC to this one. It looks wonderful. And now we're going to switch back over to the Iron Chef side, Masuda-san. He did have rice,
That's right. Yes, he did.
Okay, yes, there it is.
Pig trotters matched with rice?
Now, he didn't mix them. He just put them on the rice here.
I could just eat it like this.
How much longer do we have to wait?
It's looking so good.
And the soup is flavored with Jinhua ham. All right, swinging back to the challenger side, this is...
The pressure cooker here.
Yes, now I recall both employed pressure cookers. What's inside here?
Squeeze on.
Ask and you shall receive. Go, Ota.
That's right. Inside the pressure cooker, the Challenger has pork belly flavored with regular and Chinese soy sauce, Jinhua ham, rock sugar, Chinese rice wine, ginger scallions, shallots, and shantan soup stock.
Wow, and it also has cinnamon and star anise in it.
Yes, that's right.
A standardized version of a stew here.
Right, exactly.
A Chinese-style stew, Jinhua ham stew, we'll call it for now, okay?
Oh, now look here. The Iron Chef is slicing the smoked pork.
This was the smoked one.
Oh, it looks so nice.
Oh, it looks perfect, doesn't it?
Wow. Just from the appearance, it looks like he perfectly cooked it.
The color tells us that.
5 minutes to go.
Okay, back with Challenger Shimokawa, less than 5 minutes, and finally he's opened the steamer containing the ultimate soup. He wouldn't let anyone get a peek at it. Jinhua ham soup served in winter melon bowls. Hattori, you wanted it, and we've got it. We'll see how it turned out.
Squeeze-on?
Yes.
Hey, you still can't see the soup, but can you see these paper sheets that are covering the top of the winter melon?
Yes.
He said that these will be left there to keep the aroma inside until the moment they are served to the panel.
That's clever.
And he added, they turned out great.
Great. Okay, however, we'll let the tasters judge that for themselves.
All right, now if you look over here, you'll see the rolls are being finished, and he has prawns inside the pork.
The Iron Chef slicing
should
them.
be very nice too.
2 types of textures, prepared with great care. Sakai wrapping aluminum foil around the ends of the rolls so that they'd receive an even distribution of heat in the oven, and then placed open end down onto the sauce.
Okay, now the Challenger is also...
I see what he's up to.
Oh, sorry, this is the Iron Chef side. Boy, this looks so good.
Prawns wrapped in Jinhua pork placed onto a red sauce, a red carpet treatment for this dish right here. Iron Chef Sakai.
Squeeze-on?
Yes.
The Challenger just opened his pressure cooker dish, tasted it, and said this one is also fabulous. It just doesn't get any better than this.
Another fabulous one, he says.
Okay, well, the items he's putting around it are blocks of Jinhua ham and the portions with skin. So this should taste fantastic. The saltiness is now just right after it has flavored the meat. I think you can probably eat the ham just as is.
Okay, and now, the Iron Chef's dish here.
Boy, totally black.
No, burnt to a crisp. Is this what he's after here?
Oh, boy, I'm a little concerned. Yeah, I don't think you can tell me this tastes perfect.
That surface is completely charred.
Well, I hear him saying that it's okay, though.
He's probably going to remove the charred portions around it and serve the inside.
Fried dumplings to accompany this one. Okay, 1 minute left. The final 60 seconds coming down the stretch to the finish line for these 2 chefs. That is not an appetizing sight right there, but Sakai will cut away the charred sections, apparently.
Yeah, it's flavored with pineapple and prunes, so...
Less than 50 seconds left. Cantonese versus French, a cross-cuisine battle today. Now the challengers.
Okay, now this will be sweet and sour with the sauce. This is Cantonese.
Not a Szechuan. Where's the sweet coming from here?
Well, it's, I don't know, almost like a fruit cocktail that he's poured on there. Yeah.
Okay, 30 seconds left. It's been quite a battle, an interesting, intriguing matchup, especially technique-wise. Both men borrowing a page or two from the other. The challenger now finishing up the dish, which is for a traditional wedding banquet. One thing's for sure, should he lose, he can't blame the choice of the theme ingredient. He was given a golden opportunity and ran with it today. 10 seconds. For never having handled the theme ingredient, Sakai has really been creative with his cooking. Both men scrambling. The last 5 seconds tick down, and that's it. The cooking's done. The Jinhua pork battle is over.
Well done.
Thanks.
How was that hour?
Well, I tried to work less frantically at the beginning, but it wasn't easy.
And how did your dishes turn out?
So I think, but the soup is perfect.
The soup is?
Yes.
So you're confident?
Yes, I am.
So you've beaten the Iron Chef?
Well, you never know about these things, but...
But you are confident?
50-50? I don't know.
You had to use an ingredient that you've never used.
I guess I can't use that as an excuse. But honestly, it was tough, I think.
But it all worked out well?
Well... okay, I guess. It's now well up to the judges to decide, not me. Not me.
Challenger Shimokawa is offering 5 dishes. First, Jinhua pork teriyaki, a spin-off of the roast piglet served at wedding ceremonies in China. The paste was applied several times during roasting to perfect the flavor. Second, Qianlong Di's soup, the favorite soup of the 6th emperor of the Qing dynasty. The fat level is just right, making it the ultimate Chinese soup. Third is Jinhua pork and crepe. A combination of crispy fried pork and scallops inside matches nicely with the texture of the crepe. Fourth, braised Jinhua pork, striving for perfection in controlling the balance between the meat and the fat.
Star anise and other spices accentuate the overall flavor of this masterpiece, and a thick pork gravy celebrates the meat's flavor. Last is warm lettuce salad. The Jinhua ham is a great match with the lettuce, and a subtle sauce tops it, making this an ideal way to finish the course. The Iron Chef has 6 dishes on offer. First, prawns wrapped in pork fillet. The red bell pepper sauce ties this dish together, and before cooking, the Iron Chef tied foil around the ends of the rolls to cook the meat evenly. Second, braised ribs and trotters. South African tea that breaks down animal fat was used for the meat, which complements the mushroom rice. Third, French-style wonton soup. The sweetness of Jinhua pork is accentuated in this dish, full of herbal flavors. He also added truffles in the wonton. Roast and smoked Jinhua pork. The pork was first sautéed, boiled, then roasted before being smoked with mustard on top, another dish made with great care. Fifth, pork and pineapple roast. Indeed, the Iron Chef intended to char the surface to this degree. The buckwheat dumplings with Jinhua ham will soak up the thick sauce. This bold dish speaks to Sakai's aggressiveness. Last is jasmine tea sorbet. In this dessert, the shredded and fried ham goes well with the sweetness of the plums. And now the moment of truth, tasting and judgment. On the panel today are Lower House members Shinichiro Kurimoto, actress Keiko Masuda, actor Tsurutaro Kataoka, and culinary critic Asako Kishi. First, the dishes of challenger Shimokawa, who prepares servings of the first dish himself.
You've probably seen piglet roast served at wedding banquets in China. That's the idea of my dish here.
I see a lot of fat in it, but it's not greasy at all. This is so good.
When I chew it very slowly, the flavor of the Jinhua pork seeps out of the meat, you know? This is just right. It's a great taste.
It has a chewy texture, and I think that really helps the dish. You know, you're not attacked by the excess fat at all.
I'm opening it.
Whoa. Wow, this is like being at a temple. Yes, you rub the smoke onto yourself, you know, to cure your illnesses. Yeah.
Wow, this really takes me back somehow.
The saltiness is controlled perfectly. And the flavor of the winter melon and the aroma is fantastic.
I know I'm not supposed to keep saying this, but this is great stuff. What else can I say about this? It's just out of this world, you know?
The chefs use a lot of the Jinhua ham as soup stock. This shows off the flavor of the ham itself. And surprisingly, it's a sophisticated taste, a fresh taste, so to speak.
I could keep eating this over and over and never get tired of it. Right. And each time I eat it, I'd say it's wonderful.
普通我々が食べるその豚とこの油これだけ油使うとかなり健やかなって感じがするんですけど
Right, right.
逆の言い方すれば金華派豚であるからこれだけ油を使ったと
Exactly, yes.
First, I felt a little sweetness, and then it was like, oh, this is fat. And further on, I started to enjoy the subtle flavor of the meat. This is just right for me.
I've tasted many dishes before to enjoy the fat, but this is the first one that is so eloquent. This is very good. I'm not sure if I'm praising the pork or the chef.
その豚を生かした料理を作ってます
Well, I agree.
Now, Iron Chef Sakai's dishes are served to the panel.
最初から切れる
Yes. Today I used long-clawed prawns and basil mixed together with fat from the pork.
He's taken a Chinese ingredient and dragged it into French cuisine. I'm very impressed. This is very impressive, you know?
He has allowed the pork to absorb the flavor of the prawns and added basil. He's prepared it in a nice way. I didn't think of this as pork fillet.
I put them in a pressure cooker with a kind of tea. I added rice to it and tried to arrange it French style.
To be honest, I never really went for pig trotters. But this dish doesn't have that smell or that texture that I dislike. In fact, I finished the trotters first. It was very good.
When you think of pork, pigs is the image, you know, well, you know how they're not really clean, right? But this pork, it's wearing tuxedos. How come this is so fashionable, huh? It's very good, very nicely presented. Great.
The sauce you're now tasting is ginger flavored.
We've been told that this is pork, but, you know, if you weren't, you could say that this is smoked duck or something. The taste matches so well with the sauce. This is very good.
His dishes are all impressive. Yeah, it speaks of the path the Iron Chef has walked on to become an Iron Chef, you know? This man is great. Very delicious.
Now comes the pineapple-flavored roast. To finish with the subtle flavor, he's chosen to serve it together with the sorbet.
The charred spot, you know, on the surface, also makes this dish absolutely wonderful.
The meat is fatty, so by eating the sorbet, you drain it down. You can say you're eating a finger bowl. This is wonderful. It has a subtle bitterness. It drains the meat and the fat from your mouth. Iron Chef is not just a title. Now I know why.
He has used pork, which is not a popular ingredient in French cuisine, in a very creative way. And the order and combination of his dishes was perfect. I'm totally satisfied after trying them.
金かぶたというブランド、その持ち味をそれぞれの形で表現してくれた2人の料理人、十分に納得のいく素晴らしい試合でした。それでは発表します。
The top wedding hall in the country dispatching their Chinese cuisine specialist to Kitchen Stadium today, and challenger Shimokawa displaying for all why Meiji Kinenkan pursued him as their master chef. With this theme ingredient suitable for the Qing dynasty, Iron Chef Sakai had to pull out all the stops. Was it enough? Who takes it? Whose cuisine reigns supreme?
鉄人酒井宏之
The Iron Chef, under the gun up against it, Sakai gets the judgment and wins this superb battle. Coming out on top in a demanding encounter, cooking with the theme ingredient he'd never even used before. From the start, we thought it might be trouble, but the Iron Chef shows his mettle. All right, the scoring: Kurimoto 20-17 Iron Chef, Masuda 20-18 Iron Chef, Kataoka 20-19 Iron Chef, and Kishi 19-16 Iron Chef makes it a shutout for Sakai. A clean sweep, 1 point shy of a perfect score. What does this say? That there's no limit to what this man can accomplish anywhere, anytime. Hiroyuki Sakai, simply the Iron Chef.